Hello guys, this is Roy from Arena Mini 4-Wheel Drive Club, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And for today's video, I'm going to show you how you can find out the problem that make your car slow. Part 2 for the chassis. Where is the damage that might cause your car slow. So which part that you should check. Okay. So here I have a Super X chassis, S2 chassis, TZX chassis, and that you can find out the reason and how it got damaged, and also where might be the damage can cause your car slow. Okay, so let's check the video. Check it out. Okay, so first we start from the S2 chassis. Okay, so sometimes if you find out your car, your gear has no problem, your propeller shaft has no problem, your wheel has no problem, and then where is the problem? So sometimes the problem will be on the chassis, because the chassis got cracked or it got damaged, but you cannot see it, because sometimes the damaged part is too small, then you are not be able to see it. So here I'm going to show you, usually if you're checking all the gears, wheel stuff, then you still cannot find a problem, then let's go to the next chassis. Okay, so here let's see for this S2 chassis. Okay, so first thing we have to do is look around the chassis and see is there any part is being cracked or broken. Okay, so usually for the S2 VS, this two chassis, the broken part you can check the first here. Let me see. Okay, the first, check the counter gear, this part, because the S2 is like this shape. Then you put the the counter gear shaft right on here, So once this part, like outside this pieces or this piece got damaged, then your counter gear cannot be on the right position. So it probably gonna make the gear biting each other is not that perfectly, so it causes your car go slow. Okay, so first things, check this piece here. Let me see if you'll be able to see it clearly. Okay, so you can see this piece here. Check this piece. And then if this one is okay, then we go to the next. The next will be the propeller shaft, this part. Okay, so I will have the picture shows you over here. So for that, there's a small pieces here that you can see is holding the propeller shaft in the right position. And then here is the propeller shaft spot for the TZX chassis. Okay, so because the design for both chassis is different, so S2 and VS will have this kind of a problem, because there's a small pieces is like not on the same level, it's a little bit extra and is higher. So sometimes when your car get hit and the propeller shaft change, like it got hit too, so it hit that pieces and that pieces was broken, and because that piece is too small, so you cannot even realize it. So that might be the problem too, because for me it happened all the time. So this there's one way to solve this problem. You can see here, if you can see clearly, after this small pieces at the back there's a space. So what you could do, you can trim a piece of the carbons or FRP, just the right spot, put into this hole, and make it same height as these small pieces. So it makes the small pieces here, and you make the same height of the carbon or FRP, and stick it together and holding the small pieces here. That piece is holding the propeller shaft. So once this one get hit, there is something in the back and can hold that pieces is not broken. Okay, so that's the way to get this part stronger and reinforced it. And then next pieces we will talk about, next thing, it will be this one, the quick release. Because the S2 has a quick release, so if you didn't tighten it enough and make it too loose, so it makes the gear cover cannot cover the gear properly, so it makes there's room, so when the car is running, then the vibration will make the gear is not close and make the gear is not tight, so it also causes this you lose the speed as well. And then next we're gonna talk about is this pieces here. Okay, so there's close pictures here. Okay, so this U spot is for you to place the propeller shaft, and sometimes because your car gets stuck and the propeller shaft is keep running, and also because the resistance cause heat as well, so sometimes this chassis will melt it. So that's also the problem that you have to check, see if the hole is getting bigger and makes your propeller shaft can shake. Okay, so that is also the thing you can check. And then another thing is, I'm gonna make an example for using the Super X chassis. So the Super X chassis here, you can see this pieces also is the one. Okay, let me see. I might be able to focus it. Okay, so for okay, so you can see here also have a small pieces. This one. Unfortunately, right now, I really don't have any idea so far that can support this part, unless you wanna do really difficult way to trim the FRP or the carbons to crazy glue on this side and make it extra pieces here to hold these pieces. Otherwise, if this pieces is broken, then this chassis is done. Okay, and then the other thing will be outside this way, this one for the 620 wheel bearing. Sometimes this spot will get cracked, and this one too. The motor cover, this part will get cracked as well. So when your wheel bearing spot here got cracked, then the whole wheel can be moving. So that also is gonna be a problem and cause your car get slow. And here is an example. I do a ringing force. I have a carbons and it's trimmed, and just fit this size and put it on and try to make that part stronger, because those two spots are the weakness for the Super X chassis or Super XX chassis. But even though I try to reinforce it, but you can still see, if you be able to see it, let me see. Okay, if you can see here, you can see here, probably not clear enough, but you can see this part is getting white, and when the chassis is color getting white, it means it got too much impact, and it makes the the chassis himself got banned or something got hit. So even though I tried to reinforce it, but the weakest spot is still weak. So it doesn't mean you put this kind of stuff and reinforce it. It doesn't mean it's unbreakable, but it's still break. It will still break, but we just try to make it not that easy. Okay. So next we're gonna talk about is the gear cover, especially for the front. And you can see here we got 1, 2, 3, 4 poles, and sometimes you can realize the gear cover got damaged. Like this one, let's say this one broken and this piece is not there, so or this two pieces the lock is not there, so it makes the gear cover cannot even lock it. And sometimes even though it's break, because it still can cover it and you didn't realize it, so it will be better if you take it off and check it like clearly, like very careful to check it, and then that might be able to help you to find out maybe the gear cover is broken. And here is a tips for you guys. You can see here I have a Super XX, this is Super XX gear cover, and you can see I put the sponge brake right after the lock, and this one can put the sponge brake can help you make the lock is not that easily to get banned. So sometimes when you got banned and you got broken, then your gear cover get damaged. And this one you can put the pieces over there, so there's no space when the car get hit, then it would change the shape. So this one can help a little bit for the gear cover not getting damaged. Okay, so next we gonna do is the TZX chassis. Okay, so and also the Super 2 chassis here as well. So the Super 2 and the VS, or even though the AR, they have the motor holders like this, and sometimes you have to check the motor holder. Sometimes here you'll get cracked, or even though here get cracked. And if that get cracked, then you cannot tight the motor at the right position, and that will makes the cause the vibration and makes the motor is shaking. So that's also a reason why you might gonna make your car go slow. Alright, so then we go for the TZX and or other Super FM, or either S1 or TZ. So as you can see, this the gear cover is like this. So sometimes these pieces, you see these small pieces, it will get damaged, get cracked. So then the gear cover cannot close properly, and that's also a reason why as well. And of course this one might gonna be a problem too, because sometimes it get melted or it got damaged, broken. That's all possibility, right? And the other thing is these pieces, you can see the back, because the TZX Super FM, TZ, and the S1, the motor cover and the motor holder, the gear cover and motor holder are all in one piece. So sometimes these pieces will get melt, and also this pieces here, this side will get cracked. So here you have to check it. And the other thing will be here. See this hole over here? Check this spot, see if there are any crack spot, if that's possible. If there's nothing, then that's good, because it does happen to me, like this part get cracked, like here, whole thing. So it makes this can shake and break in half sometimes. Okay, so here is basically the chassis part, and then next we're gonna talk about, it will be the terminal. because sometimes, like I said at the part 1, sometimes the card got stuck, the motor get hit, and the hit will melt the chassis. So when this piece, this part, like the motor holder here, it got too hot and the plastic got melted, then your terminal will not in the right position as well. And even though also the front as well, the front and the front is, if it's get melted, then you can try, maybe you need to get a new chassis if you cannot figure that out. Because sometimes you can, like me, I can put the sponge brake and to help the terminal and the battery is contact the surface is touching properly. But if it doesn't solve your problem, then that means you need a new chassis. Okay, so this is today's video. This is the part 2, and then for next video we're gonna do part 3. That's gonna be for the Pro chassis, which means MA and MS. Okay, so if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Okay, thank you so much. Don't forget to press the bell, so if I have the new video, then you will know it right away. Thank you. I'll see you next time.